I am a soul connector. I am a soul connector. It isn't a creative moniker or a catchy tagline. What I've discovered about myself is it's a way of life. I've learned through a personal journey filled with tragedy and triumph that we exponentially begin to increase the power of community when we make those connections and we believe and treasure and value every living being. The challenge for each of us is being present, right here, right now, being open, being curious, anticipating, but then going a step further by seeking these opportunities for connection. We have only two choices in this world, to engage or not. I believe that soul connecting is an art, a conscious, intentional act, even when it appears that the connections are random. It requires risk, often going beyond the boundaries of what feels safe and comfortable. Despite our seemingly obvious differences, threads of humanity connect us, cords of vibrant hues. Our passion, sorrow, joy, love, dreams, anger, and disappointment manifest as canary yellow, apple red, magenta, silver, and lime green strands of energy. They are simultaneously fragile, yet resilient enough to withstand even our separated selves. I propose that we see the possibility of human connection as a gift to and from each other, each thread weaving into us, creating new experiences that broaden, perhaps reshape who we are, and inform our life decisions in meaningful ways that can change the world. I'll ask you to take a short journey with me and close your eyes and imagine it's Birmingham, 1963. Now, I wasn't there. I wasn't even born. But Shirley Gavin and Gwen Gamble were. In 1963 in Birmingham, Alabama, Shirley was a tiny 10-year-old freedom fighter. She made it within 3 blocks of the infamous 16th Street Baptist Church before her mother snatched her out of the line. That church was the site of one of the most vicious attacks on our humanity. 4 little girls died in the bombing that day. In 1963 in Birmingham, Alabama, Gwen Gamble was 15. She wore a raincoat, anticipating the sting of water hoses, and spent 5 days in jail for participating in a lunch counter sit-in. These little girls were called from the depths of their souls to end segregation and second-class citizenship in the deep, murky South. They joined thousands of other courageous children who marched through the streets, leaving the safety of their classrooms to put an end to Jim Crow laws. They shivered with terror in a jail cell. They slept on cots and sang freedom songs. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome today. Birmingham, 2013. I was there, and so were Shirley and Gwen. A not-so-happenstance encounter in that same church 50 years after they helped change the world, and I found myself standing face to face with these courageous women. They clasped my hands and shared stories, amazing, vibrant, colorful stories of how my father, James Bevel, a fiery top lieutenant of the Reverend Martin Luther King Jr., and a force behind civil rights campaigns of the 1960s, including the Children's Crusade in Birmingham, changed the course of their lives. Shirley looked into my eyes, squeezed my hands so tightly they hurt, and she shared every painful detail. As she shared, I felt the threads of her life, those vibrant threads, those fiery reds and those cobalt blues, blend themselves into mine. In that brief moment, I closed my eyes, and I imagined my tiny feet dangling over the edge of a cold jailhouse cot. My own personal struggles, they became so less intense. Soul connecting, the moment we're able to let go of our personal selves and absorb someone else's. Because the lesson is we are all part of a bigger story. Oftentimes, the mundane task of our daily lives, driving to the grocery store, picking the kids up from school, blind us to the connection that's right in front of us. And that's probably the most important element of soul connecting, because it begins right where you are. I'll ask you to travel with me again. I discovered these 10 women quite by accident, or so I thought. A photograph in the Forsyth County Library digital file, their stories concealed between mortar and brick, and I just never knew. Before relocating to Jacksonville last year, I lived in the Piedmont Leaf Lofts in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Almost every day for 6 years, I turned at the same corner where in summer of 1946, these 10 women marched, holding union signs, protesting paternalism, low wages, and poor workplace conditions in tobacco factories. These women were stemmers, the lowest paid workers, who removed the stems from tobacco leaves by hand. Their starting wage was 54 cents per hour. Women who, like most women that I know, like me, wanted to be able to take care of their families, afford housing, provide clothing and books and medicine for their children. Women who were demanding to be paid 65 cents an hour. Now, I've never separated hard stems from dry tobacco leaves, or had to stand for hours with my belly pressed into the board of a stemming machine. But I do know the physical strain of working a 7-hour waitress shift, 8 months pregnant. 7 decades later, these women, in their cotton dresses and their kerchiefs, gave me the courage to demand parity in the workplace for myself. And that is soul connecting. It is the giving and the receiving, the deposit and the withdrawal that we make when we dare go beyond the obvious and self-imposed limitations. Each day, every single day, we are given opportunities for connection. We only have to be present, open, curious, take risk, and begin right where we are. Because there is a human cost when we fail to connect. Ideas unborn, dreams unrealized, communities unignited. Today, I challenge you to make radical connections. I invite you, each and every one of you, to live a life worth sharing. Thank you.